For over a decade, fans have asked, can anyone rescue Green Lantern from cinematic oblivion? Enter James Gunn, architect of DC's bold new vision. No more space opera on autopilot. No more soulless CGI. This time, it's a gritty, grounded murder mystery. And it just might be the absolute reboot the franchise needed. But why is Gunn's Green Lantern such a huge reboot? How does stripping away the aliens, the space wars, and the willpower jargon promise a new age, not just for Hal and John, but for DC's entire universe? And what sneaky details and cosmic Easter eggs could change everything you think you know about these Emerald heroes? Stick around, because we're peeling back every layer, breaking down hidden facts, wild trivia, and why this reboot could finally put the Lanterns back among DC's heavyweights. Welcome to Heroscope. Let's get painfully honest. Green Lantern's on-screen history is a raging dumpster fire with green flames. In comics, Green Lantern isn't just a hero, he's a legacy. Hal Jordan is a Silver Age icon, a founding Justice League member, a space cop who makes power of willpower look cool as cosmic hell. Add John Stewart, the Marine-turned-cosmic defender, one of DC's most beloved black superheroes. The Lantern Corps, say it with me, Corps, not corpse, is DC's answer to Star Wars Jedi, a universal police force, each member wielding the universe's most powerful weapon. But when Hollywood tried to bring that cosmic magic to life, crash and burn. Remember 2011's film? You know, the one that had even Ryan Reynolds roasting it on late-night TV for years?
That's a really dumb superpower.
The movie tried everything. Origin story, love story, space adventure, even a touch of slapstick. What did we get? One of superhero cinema's most legendary busts. The CGI suit was so awkward that Reynolds later described it as looking like a giant green Slim Jim with abs. Fact blast. The 2011 film made $219 million, but cost $200 million to make. A flop by blockbuster standards, especially after marketing costs. No less than 4 separate writers were attached to the script, which mutated constantly, losing any stable vision. Both Chris Pine and Bradley Cooper auditioned to play Hal Jordan. Imagine that alternate DC universe. Behind the scenes, Warner Brothers execs reportedly hated the final cut but released it anyway, hoping for a miracle. After that, the Lanterns vanished. 14 years of radio silence. Not a cameo in Man of Steel. Not a mention in Justice League. Nothing. Not even a post-credits scene. They almost came back. At one point, a Green Lantern Corps movie was in development. Meanwhile, the comics held the torch. In Green Lantern Rebirth 2004, Jeff Johns resurrected Hal Jordan, reviving him from parallax-inflicted villainy back to mythic heroism. Titles like Green Lantern Corps Recharge and the Sinestro Corps War proved there were endless stories about legacy, courage, and fear versus willpower. Not just about glowing rings and alien throwdowns. DC's first Lantern, Alan Scott, 1940, was magically powered. Not sci-fi, his ring was weak to wood. John Stewart was the very first black superhero to appear in DC's primetime animation, thanks to Justice League in 2001. The Green Lantern Oath has over a dozen versions in the comics, from noble to nearly creepy. Yet somehow, Hollywood kept missing the point. They gave us lasers, aliens, and forgot character. The emotional core, the core of why the ring chooses its bearer. Until now, Gunn's approach is refreshing. Some might even call it a rescue mission. He's not just rebooting Green Lantern. He's fixing what's been broken for over a decade, with a plan more daring than any space battle. If you dig clever superhero storytelling, subscribe to Heroscope now. Because Lanterns isn't about nostalgia. It's about rebuilding a legacy, one bold story at a time. So, James Gunn is in charge. What's the plan? How do you single-handedly pull a hero-less franchise back from Comic-Con meme hell? You flip the script. Instead of racing back to space, Gunn is planting Green Lanterns on the ground. No special effects overload. No jargon dump. Just cops. With, you know, power rings. James Gunn's pitch. True detective with superheroes. Let that sink in. The DCU's new era starts not in the stars, but in middle America. Small town vibe. Local murder. 2 lanterns with orders. Keep it quiet, keep it contained. Showrunner Chris Mundy is the genius behind Ozark. He knows how to tell stories of haunted, complex people pushed to their breaking points. Damon Lindelof, Lost, HBO's Watchmen, is co-writing. If you've seen Watchmen, you know this guy delivers on grounded, race-conscious, twist-filled superhero drama. Tom King, DC superstar writer. His Mr. Miracle and Human Target rewrote the rulebook for psychological superhero stories. He understands broken heroes and green constructs better than anyone. King actually helped define the modern Jon Stewart in comics, merging military discipline with deep vulnerability. Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan, older, weathered, and probably haunted by more than a few close calls. Aaron Pierre is Jon Stewart, the rookie learning to shine under impossible pressure. Nathan Fillion brings Guy Gardner, the loudmouth lantern. Ulrich Thompson as Sinestro, lurking in the shadows, DC's greatest ring-wielding rogue. This team-up is the kind of cosmic luck the franchise desperately needed. And yes, that's probably the only time the words luck and Green Lantern have shared a sentence in Hollywood. But why take this detective approach, you ask? 2 words: character depth. Gunn's not here for a CGI arms race. He's here to answer, what truly makes a hero worthy of the ring? Let's cut to the controversy. Die-hard Lantern fans want aliens, rings, giant green crocodiles flying across the screen. So, why strip it all away and tell a murder mystery on Earth? Here's the secret that so many failed adaptations missed. You can have the coolest spaceship battles in the galaxy, but if nobody cares about the pilot, it's just light and noise. 2011 threw the audience face first into Guardians, Parallax, and lore. The result? Confusion, disinterest, CGI fatigue. Exciting fact: the grounded first, cosmic later approach is a proven winner in superhero storytelling. Take Iron Man, 2008. Tony's core is trauma and redemption, not just repulsors. Batman Begins built Bruce Wayne on fear and grief before ever handing him a cowl. Even DC's greatest TV hit, Arrow, was all about Oliver Queen before Star City got wild. James Gunn's Lanterns is about Hal and John as people, not just ring bearers. Hal Jordan, Kyle Chandler, in Gunn's script, not the cocky maverick. He's a seasoned veteran, older, carrying survivor's guilt. Maybe haunted by his test pilot father's crash, an origin from 2004's Green Lantern, Rebirth. Hal is a man who's seen too much, with a sense of responsibility he can't shake. Jon Stewart, Aaron Pierre, a disciplined, analytical Marine, the rookie thrown into a powder keg. If you follow Justice League Unlimited or comics like Jon Stewart the Emerald Knight, you know Jon's no sidekick. He's a leader, an architect of justice. The dynamic? Veteran versus rookie. Legacy meets future. Both struggling to measure up to an impossible code. Training trivia. Comic Jon Stewart is an architect plus Marine, a rare hero who builds as much as he destroys. Hal Jordan is one of 3 Lanterns to ever become the Spectre, a literal ghost of vengeance for the DCU. Both have, at different times, lost and regained their ring through sheer force of character. The murder mystery isn't a gimmick. It's a clever, slow burn that lets the weird, cosmic stuff seep in, one clue at a time. Maybe the dead body is wrapped in an alien signature. Maybe the killer is using stolen Lantern tech. Or maybe, just maybe, the crime is tied to the Guardians themselves, raising the stakes for the entire DCU. True detective-style approach. The clues are just the surface. The real story? These 2 men learning to trust, or second-guess, each other under impossible odds. Here's where fanheads explode. Gunn has said Lanterns isn't just a DC show. It's the foundation for his Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. So, what does that mean? The events in Lanterns, the murder, the investigation, the secrets uncovered, aren't isolated. They ripple through the whole new DCU. Facts you need to know. James Gunn's DCU is a completely fresh timeline. Characters aren't carrying baggage from previous DC movies. This is the single launchpad for the new era. In interviews, Gunn calls Lanterns integral to the DCU's overarching mystery. In other words, pay close attention. DC's Green Lantern Corps' headquarters, OA, might not appear until much later, making that reveal a huge event just like the Wall in Game of Thrones. Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, is already crossing over into Superman, Legacy. Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, is confirmed to appear in other Gunn-led series. Her Black Ops work might clash with the Lantern's public justice. If you've read Tom King's comics, you know he loves weaving multiple heroes into his stories, so expect surprise cameos from other DCU pillars. What's the murder all about? Fan theories are flying. A rogue Guardian covering up a failed experiment on Earth? Sinestro using human proxies to test corrupt yellow energy? Secret tech linked to the elusive emotional spectrum? The force behind not just Green Lanterns, but red, yellow, and even Black Lantern rings. If you think the clues are local, think again. Every secret Hal and John uncover could launch the next cosmic crisis. Gunn isn't dumping Lanterns into the DCU. This investigation is a narrative magnet, pulling Superman, Waller, and maybe even the Authority into its orbit, organically. No sugarcoating here, this is a risk. Some fans want Oa, Kilowog, Space Sharks, Star Sapphires immediately. Gunn is putting that on ice and building trust first, which can feel slow. But here's what makes that genius. Legendary payoffs require patience. The Power Ring's greatest weakness isn't color, it's doubt, a subtle trait never shown on film. There have been over 7,200 Green Lanterns in DC canon, meaning literally thousands of weird, wonderful characters Gunn could use down the line. The Sinestro Corps War 2007 storyline involved a cosmic war that spanned planets and emotions. What if Lantern Season 1 plants the seeds for an all-out multi-season DCU saga? The Green Lantern Oath is second only to Superman's Up, Up and Away, as most recognized superhero catchphrase in the world according to DC fandom polls. By focusing on trauma, duty, and hard choices before the fireworks, Lanterns has a shot at giving us a deep universe, not just a shiny one.
Jon Stewart's biggest guilt in comics came from demolishing a planet through a tactical mistake, a scene ripe for future adaptation. Gunn knows this. He's taking us on a ride where the emotional stakes come first, so that, when the cosmos starts cracking apart, we'll actually care what happens. So is James Gunn's Lanterns the risky, revolutionary jolt that Green Lantern desperately needed? Or is it just another grounded superhero show cashing in on Detective TV's golden age? All signs point to something special: deep character arcs, juicy mysteries, and the promise of a cosmic payoff. If Gunn's Lanterns sticks the landing, this could be the moment Green Lantern steps out of the meme zone and finally becomes DC's heavyweight champion. Now it's your turn. What do you think is the secret behind the Lantern's mystery? Will Sinestro be the big bad, or is there a secret threat no one's guessed? Would you rather see a slow, deep, cosmic build, or do you want Oa and the Green Lantern Corps from Episode 1? Drop your wildest Lantern theories in the comments. If you want to see Hal and John finally get the screen time and respect they deserve, hit that like button, subscribe to Harrowscope, and ring that bell so you never miss a deep dive into the wildest and weirdest corners of the DC universe. I'm out. In brightest day, in blackest night, the Lantern's new age just might be worth the wait.